Hello guys, good morning. Can you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Next concept is logical operator. Double AND is one of the logical operator. In case of double AND, both the operands, in case of double AND, both the operands, left side and right side, both the operands must resulting in true. Whatever the operation you do, finally the result must be returning true. Then only double AND operator returns true. In case of double AND operator, both the operands must be resulting in true. Not only one, both the operands. If anyone resulting in false, then double AND operator is going to return false. Now, both the operands are returning true, going inside, printing from if, coming out, printing end of main. Syntactically proper, you can run. from if end of main. Come to the next Q.Java. First operand itself returning false. In case of double AND operator, both operands must be resulting in true. One of the operand is false, so double AND operator returns a false. If it is false, if condition is getting false, if the if condition is getting false, it won't enter the body of the if block. Comes out printing end of main. Analyze this program. Tell me the output. Everybody should analyze.
From if end of main.
What is the I value? What is the I value? Initially, I is equal to 0. Then, in the if condition, I plus plus. I is becoming 1, but 0 only apply. 0 double equal to 0. Yes. True. Now itself, it won't enter the body of the if block because it has to evaluate next expression as well, because both should be returning true. It is checking this one also. Current I value is 1. 1 is becoming 2, but 1 only applying. 1 is becoming 2, but 1 only applying. 1 double equal to 1. Yes. Both the operands resulted in true. Then entering the if block body, printing from if. I is incrementing for the third time. Now I value becomes 3. Printing end of main, I value is 3. From if end of main, 3. Observe this one. Tell me the output. int I is equal to 0, I plus plus 0 is becoming 1, but 0 only applying. 0 is becoming 1, but 0 only applying. If it is 0, 0 double equal to 1, no. Becomes false. This expression, this operand, resulting in false. But I became 1. But I became 1. But the expression resulting in false. If it is resulting in false, double and operator, it is not going to check second operand. Control is not going to check second operand because first operand itself resulting in false. But I got incremented to 1. If you are getting false here, control won't be entering to the if block because we know the rule in case of double AND, both operands must be true. So comes out printing end of main, printing the I value, that is 1. End of main 1. Observe this one.
So from if end of main 3.
End
Sure.
of main and 3.
End of main and 2.
Carefully observe. Initially, I value is 0, plus plus I, pre-increment. 1 is applied here, 1 double equal to 1. Yes, of course. True. You will get true here. It is not going to enter the if block. It has to evaluate next expression as well. It is checking this one. Current I value is 1. 1 is becoming 2, but 1 only applying here. 1 only applying here. 1 double equal to 2. No. 1 is not equal to 2. You'll get false here. You'll get false. If it is false, it won't enter the if block. Comes out. End of main, I value is 2. Because while checking the condition, second operand, I value got incremented. printing end of main, I value is 2. Come to the u.java. Observe carefully. Flag is equal to true in the if condition. For flag, I'm supplying false. This expression becomes false, resulting in false. If it is false, it won't check another operand. It won't check another operand. Initially, flag was true. When executing if condition, flag was reassigned with false. Now current flag value is false. If it is false, it won't check next operand. Here itself we are getting the false. What is the necessity of checking another operand? It won't check next operand. And if condition is getting false, it won't enter the if block. End of main, current value of flag is false. End of main, false. Double or operator, double or. In case of double or, any one of the operand should be resulting in true. Anyone, either one of the operand, should be resulting in true. Then double or operator returns true. In the if condition, first operand is false. Straight away it won't return false. Instead, it is going to check another operand. Another operand is resulting in true. Either any one of the operand should be resulting in true. Then double or operator returns true. Now, second operand resulting in true. So entering the if block from if end of main. Come to the next. Initially, I is 0. I plus plus. I is becoming 1. But applying here it is 0 only. But applying here it is 0 only. 0 double equal to 0. Yes. Here itself, in the first operand itself, we got the true. Then, what is the necessity of checking another operand? There is no necessity of checking another operand. In case of double OR, either one of the operand should be resulting in true. For the first operand itself, we got the true. It won't check second operand. Going inside, from if I is incremented for the second time, I value became 2. Printing end of main, I value is 2. Initially, I is 0. I plus plus. I is becoming 1, but applying here it is 0 only. 0 double equal to 1? No, false. Straight away, it won't return false. It will check another operand. Either one of the operand should be resulting in true. It is going to check second operand. Current I value is 1. 1 is becoming 2. But 1 only applying. 1 is becoming 2. But 1 only applying. 1 double equal to 1. Yes. Resulting in true. Going inside. From if I is incrementing for the third time. Printing end of main. Printing I value, that is 3. int I is equal to 0, pre-increment plus plus I became 1, applying also 1, 1 double equal to 1, true. Here itself, we got the true. Then what is the necessity of checking second operator? Sorry, second operand. From if I is incrementing for the second time, end of main, I value is 2. Let's move on to the app 5. Inside the main method, we have the if condition. For this if condition, we don't have the curly brace. We don't have the curly brace. We don't have opening and closing curly brace. If this is the case, the immediate first statement would be the part of if block. If I don't have the curly brace, if I don't have the opening and closing curly brace, then immediate first statement would be the part of the if block. Remaining these two statements are part of the main method. Let's compile and run. Currently we are in the app 5. To navigate to the app 5, we know that app 5, I want to go to SRC. Compile e.java, run a class. All three statements we are getting 1, 2, 3, because if condition is returning true, it is executing this statement, this immediate first statement is part of the if condition. Then comes out executing remaining these two statements. These two statements are part of the main method. These two statements are not part of the if block. Come to the B. Now, if condition is returning false, if condition is returning false, the immediate first statement after the if block, this one, it is not going to execute because this statement belongs to if block. Now if block is returning false, so this statement won't be executed, but 2, 3 will be executing. The statements 2, 3 will be executing. These two statements are part of the main method. You will get 2, 3. Come to the next program. If and else block. Along with the if block, we can also develop else block. Along with the if block, we can also develop the else block. Else is a keyword in Java. Along with the if block, we are going to use else block. If the if condition is false, then else will be executing. But in this case, if condition is getting true, going inside, printing from if, there is no necessity of executing else block, comes out, printing end of main. Printing main end. From its main end. Now if condition is getting false, now the control will enter else block. Control will execute else block. From else, then main end. Come to the f.java. Carefully observe. Without if condition, we cannot be able to develop else block. Without if block, you cannot be able to develop else block. You will get error. Else without if. You can develop if block without else block, but you cannot develop else block without if block. you will get else without if. You cannot develop else block without if block. Syntax error. Else without if. Come to the G.Java. In between if block and else block, in between if block and else block, you cannot keep any other statements. In between if block and else block, you cannot keep any other statements like this. In between if block and else block, you cannot keep any other statements. If you are keeping any other statements, you will get syntax error. Else without if. Immediately after if block, you must develop else block. Immediately after if block, you must develop else block. Otherwise, you will get syntax error. If you are keeping any other statements in between if block and else block, you will get syntax error. Immediately after if block, you should develop else block. This is inner if. If block inside another if block. This type of if block we are going to call inner if block. Inner if block. If and only if the outer if block returns true, then only there is a chance of executing inner if block. outer if block should be returning true. Now outer if block returns true, printing if. This is the inner if block. This inner if block also returning true, going inside the inner if block, printing inner if, comes out of inner if, then comes out of outer if block. Come to the next. Carefully observe this one. There is no curly brace for if conditions. For else also we don't have curly brace. Outer if block returns true, then we know that if we don't have any curly brace, then immediate first statement would be the part of if block. This next immediate statement also another if block, returning true. Then this statement is part of this if block. Inner if is part of inner if block. This is outer if block. Simply you will get inner if. There is no necessity of executing else blocks because both the if conditions are returning true. You will get simply inner if. Carefully observe. Outer if block is returning false. Outer if block returning false. Which else block is going to execute? Else 2 or else 1? completely this much. One if and else. Now this else block belongs to the outer if block. This else 2 belongs to outer if. Outer if block, we are getting false. Straight away, control comes to this else block. Completely, the selected statements are one if and else. Immediately after if block, else block. Now here we are getting false, outer if block. Immediately, first statement is another if block. Now this if block, completely, this if block is part of outer if block. So this becomes the body of outer if block. This completely the selected statements. The selected statements becomes part of the outer if block. So these statements will not be executed because if block is returning false. This one is the body of outer if block. Then straight away control comes to else block. This else block. Else 2. This else block is part of outer if block. That is why you are getting else 2. Outer if block returns true. Fine. Then inner if block returning false. For this if block, what is the immediate else block? This is the. For this inner if block, this is the else block. In this case, you will get else 1. Inner if block is returning false. For this inner if block, this is the else block. So else 1 you will get. Else if blocks. Like if block, else if block also having one argument. For one if block, you can able to develop any number of else if blocks. For one if block, you can able to develop any number of else if blocks. This is we are going to call else if and else if ladder. If the if condition itself returning true, then none of the else if blocks will be executing. If the if condition itself returns true, then none of the else if blocks will be executing if and only if the if condition is returning false, then only it is going to check else if block. If this else if block also returning false, it is going to check next else if block. If this one is returning true, then control will execute from the body of this else if block. Any one of the block, if any one of the block returning true, then the control is going to execute from that block. In this case, the first if block, first of all, the if block itself is returning true. So simply we'll get from if none of the else if blocks will be executing. If condition is false, if condition is getting false, we have else if block. Immediately after if block, we have one else if block that is returning true, that is getting true. So we will get from else if even though the next if block, even though the next else if block also returning true, it won't execute this one because here itself we got the true. Any one of the block should be returning true. Then control will be executing from that block. Any one block is sufficient. It won't execute multiple blocks. Simply will get from else if If block is returning false, else if block also returning false, if block is returning false, then we have other two if else if blocks. Those are also returning false. You don't get any output. Syntactically proper. You can also run, but you don't get any output because none of the blocks are returning true. Syntactically proper. You can also run, but you don't get any output. After all the else if blocks, you can keep else block. If you want to keep else block, in the if and else if ladder, you can able to keep else block after all the else if blocks. You can only keep one else block, not more than one else block. Only one else block. Only one else block. After all the if else block, after all the else if blocks, you can keep else block. Now what happens? If block is false, else if also false. Now we'll get the output from else block, from last else. If you want to keep else block in the if and else if ladder, you must keep else block after all the else if blocks. Otherwise, you'll get syntax error. After all the else if blocks, you need to keep else block, not in the middle. Not in the middle or not after immediately if block. You must keep this else block after all the else if blocks. You will get syntax error at line number 17 saying that else without if. Initially I is equal to 2. Whether 2 greater than 10. You will get false for the if condition. 2 greater than 5. This is also false for else if block. One more else if block. Whether 2 greater than 2. No. 2 is not greater than 2. This is also will get false. Now we have one else block. From the else block, we will get the output nothing. If you want to keep the else block, you must keep after all the else if blocks. Otherwise, you'll get error. You will get syntax error at line number 13. You cannot able to keep any statements in between if block and else if block. You cannot able to keep any other statements in between if block and else if blocks like this. You will get error. After all the else if blocks, you can only keep one else block. After all the else if blocks, you can only keep one else block, not more than one else block. You will get error. If you want to keep else block, you can able to keep After all the else if blocks, you can only keep only one else block, not more than one else block. You cannot able to keep two else blocks. Come to the app 6. Next is loops. What is the necessity of using loops? Assume we have a requirement of printing from 1 to 10. Assume we have a requirement of printing from 1 to 10. Technically, we can able to print from 1 to 10 by using system.out.println. Technically, we can able to print from 1 to 10 by using system.out.println. No issues. Navigate to the app 6. Compile a.java. You will get from 1 to 10. But what if I want to print from 1 to 1000? Yes, of course. We can able to print from 1 to 1000 by using system.out.println only. It will take lot of time, effort, and it is not practical approach to meet the requirement. We can able to develop more. We can able to develop the code more practically, we can able to develop the code by using better logic. We can able to develop the code, better code, by the use of logic. For this type of purpose only, we have loops. To meet this kind of requirements only, we have loops. First one, that is for loop. In almost all the programming languages, for loop will be there. Most common loop, for loop. Not only 10, not only 1000, you can also print up to 10,000 or any number. Compile A2, then run. To print 10,000 by using only system.out.println, assume how much time we would have taken. But by using loop, by using only 3 lines of code, by using only 4 lines, by using only 4 lines of code, we can print from 1 to any number. To print all these numbers, it will get time. It will take time. To interrupt the execution, go for Control C. To interrupt the execution, to interrupt the running program, to come out from the running program, in the keyboard, Control C. Now, observe this one. For loop, is having 3 parts. For loop is having 3 parts. This is the first part. second part, third part. For loop is having three parts. First part is initialization. First part is initialization part. Int I is equal to 1. Then after initializing I to 1, it is going to execute second part. Whether I less than 10, 1 less than 10, yes. Then it is going to enter the for loop. For loop has three parts: initialization part, checking the Boolean condition part, increment or decrement part. For loop has three parts. One is initialization. Second one is checking the Boolean condition. Third one is increment or decrement. Excuse me. Initialization part executes only once. Initialization part execute only once, only one time. Then second part, checking the Boolean condition part, executes as long as the condition is returning true. Then each time After executing the body, third section, that is increment or decrement, will be executing. In the for loop, we have three sections. One is initialization section, checking the Boolean condition section, increment or decrementing section. Observe now how it executes. Initially, I'm declaring and initializing I variable to 1. Int I is equal to 1. Int I is equal to 1. Current I value is 1. Now it is going to check the Boolean condition. Whether 1 less than 10. Yes. Immediately it is going to enter the body of the for loop, printing current I value, that is 1. Printing current I value, that is 1. Now third section is going to execute. Increment. I is becoming 2. I is becoming 2. Now it is going to check the condition once again. Initialization part executes only once. Whenever it is going to, whenever it is going to check, whenever it is going to execute this for statement, for loop, initialization part executes only once, not multiple times. After incrementing, I became 2. 2 less than 10? Yes. Going inside, printing the I value 2. Then third section, once again it is going to execute. I is becoming 3. 3 less than 10, entering the body, printing 3. 3 is becoming 4. 4 less than 10, entering the body, printing 4. 4 is becoming 5. 5 less than 10, printing 5. 5 is becoming 6. 6 less than 10, yes, entering the body, printing 6. 6 is becoming 7. 7 less than 10, yes, entering the body, printing 7. 7 is becoming 8. 8 less than 10, printing 8. 8 is becoming 9. 9 less than 10, printing 9. 9 is becoming 10. 9 is becoming 10. Whether 10 less than 10? No. Now we are going to get the false. Comes out. Whenever I is becoming 10. Whenever I is becoming 10, whether 10 less than 10? No. Comes out. You will get the output from 1 to 9. One to 9. But if you say here equal to less than or equal to 10, last iteration also will be executing. That means set 10 less than or equal to 10. Yes. Right. See, whatever it is executing, each time we are going to call one iteration, technical word. Iteration or iteration. First iteration, second iteration, third iteration, fourth iteration, fifth, sixth, seventh, till 10th, up to 10. Observe this program, class B. Int I is equal to 0, whether I less than 10, 0 less than 10, going inside. Now carefully observe, this is, we are going to call concatenation. Concatenation. This is the operator, plus operator. These two are operands. If you are keeping plus operator between one string constant and any other type of constant, it can be anything, not only int, not only double, not only boolean, any type. String and anything. Concatenation operation, concatenating string and any other value, concatenating. String can be added to anything, anything can be added to string. String can be added to anything, anything can be added to string. Here adding in the sense concatenating. Simply we are joining, concatenating. If the same plus operator, if you are performing between two values other than string, that is different. The same plus operator, if you are performing between two int values, you will get the addition. But the same plus operator, if you are performing, one operand is string, another operand is any other type, you will get concatenating result. Concat result. This is concatenation. We are just adding. String can be added to anything, anything can be added to string. I value space, current I value will be printed. Observe. Int I is equal to 0. Whether 0 greater than 0. Whether 0 greater than 0. No. You are getting false here. Comes out printing main end. Carefully observe this program. At line number 9, you will get syntax error. Why is that? We have declared int I. We have declared int I variable within the context of for loop. Int I is equal to 0. We have declared int I within the context of for loop. That means this I belongs to this for loop only. This variable I belongs to for loop only. You cannot able to use this I outside the for loop like this. The scope of this variable I belongs limited to this for loop only, not outside this for loop. This variable I is local to this for loop. You can able to use this I anywhere within the for loop body, but not outside, because we have declared this I within the context of for loop. You can able to use within the context of for loop only, not outside. Cannot find symbol. This variable I is not visible at line number 9. this variable I visibility is limited to this for loop only. This variable I is local to this for loop only. If you want to use this variable I anywhere in the main method, declare before the for loop only. Declare this variable I before the for loop only, like this. Now you can able to use this I anywhere in the main method. Now this int I became the local variable of main method. Anywhere within the context of main method, you can able to use this I. You will get the output I value from 0 to 9 when it becomes 10. 10 less than 10. No, false comes out. Main int, then you'll get 10 here, which is the value that caused for loop to get false. That is 10. 10 less than 10. That value 10 will be printed here. Main int space 10. Syntactically proper. Observe this one. We know that if we don't have the curly brace for a block, immediate first statement would be the part of that block, or in this case it is loop, for loop. For this for loop, the immediate first statement, this statement is part of this for loop. Main end is part of main method. All these statements are part of main method, but for the for loop, we don't have the curly brace, opening and closing curly brace. That is why immediate first statement is this statement is part of this for loop. Now what you will get, same thing if you would have curly braces. whatever the result would have got by using curly brace, the same result you'll get. Loop colon space from 0 to 9. Then main end. Come to the next. Observe this one carefully. For the for loop, we have the semicolon. Semicolon indicates end of the statement. So for loop is ending here itself. For loop is ending here itself because of semicolon. Because of semicolon, for loop is ending here itself. For loop is ending here itself. If the for loop is ending here itself, I is only visible to for loop. I is only visible to this statement, not outside of this statement. So at line number 6, you will get error. Cannot find symbol at line number 6. We are trying to use I, but I is not visible there. Come to the h.java. For loop is ending here itself, but what we have done, we have declared I outside the for loop. Okay, fine. Then what is the output? Carefully observe. Int I is equal to 0, 0 less than 5. Yes. Looking to enter the body. There is no body since we have ended this for loop by using semicolon. What happens? Now I will be incremented to 1. Okay. Checking the condition once again. 1 less than 5. Yes. Looking to enter the body. There is no body. 1 is becoming 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes. Looking to enter the body. There is no body. 2 is becoming 3. 3 less than 5. Becoming 4. 4 less than 5. Becoming 5. 5 less than 5. Now condition fails. 5 is not less than 5. Comes out. Loop colon space. I value is 5. Then main colon space. I value is 5. By seeing only you can able to tell where we are going to get the error. At line number 7, I is not visible here. I only visible to this statement, not to this statement. At line number 7, you will get error. Cannot find symbol I. Now we have declared I outside. I is equal to 5. 5 greater than 0? Yes. We are decrementing the value each time. Now observe 5 greater than 0, loop colon space current I value 5. I is becoming 4. 4 greater than 0? Yes, printing 4. 4 is becoming 3. 3 greater than 0? Loop colon space printing 3. 3 is becoming 2. 2 greater than 0? Loop colon space printing 2. 2 is becoming 1. 1 greater than 0. Yes, loop colon space printing 1. 1 is becoming 0. 0 greater than 0? No. 0 is not greater than 0. Comes out main colon space, will get 0 here. Come to the next. This is little bit of tricky. Observe carefully. In the initialization section, we can able to declare and initialize more than one variable by using comma as a separator. In the increment or decrement section, by using comma as a separator, you can able to increment or decrement more than one variable. Keep that point in mind. Now observe. Initially, I is initializing with the 0. Okay. J is initializing with the 10. Okay. Current I value 0. Current J value is 10. That is only printing. Now I got incremented. Keep track of I value and J value. Initially both were 0 and 10. Now keep track. Zero 10 got printed. Now 0 is becoming 1 because of I plus plus. 10 is becoming 9 because of j minus minus. Now based on I condition, sorry, based on the I value we are evaluating, based on whether I value is less than 5. Based on that condition, we are going to execute the body of the for loop. Whether currently the I value is 1 less than 5, yes. Going inside, printing current I value and j value 1 and 9. I got incremented to 2, j got decremented to 8. Whether 2 less than 5, yes. Printing current I value and j value. Then I will be incremented to 3, j will be decremented to 7. Whether 3 less than 5, yes. Going inside, printing 3 and 7. Then I will be incremented to 4, j will be decremented to 6. Whether 4 less than 5, yes. Printing 4 colon 6. 4 is becoming 5, I plus plus. 4 is becoming 5. J is decremented to 5 because of j minus minus. Whether 5 less than 5? No. 5 is not less than 5. Comes out. So you will get up to 4 colon 6. From 0 to 10 to 4 colon 6. This one, take it as an assignment. Enough for today. I'll update the repository. I'm going to send the link once again in the group where you can able to find the class resources. Whatever I'll be doing in the class, the same will be available in the repository. You can able to practice. And once again, I'm going to share the assignment with you. Whichever I have covered the topics, based on that, you can able to attend the questions. From now onwards, be more serious because a lot of logics, syntaxes, concepts will be there. You should focus and don't miss any class. And you should not forget any concepts from the previous classes. Every day you have to revise. Then only you'll get more clarity and you can able to answer from any of the questions, from any of the concepts in the interview. Practice at least for 4 to 5 hours. If you have any queries, you can able to ask me now. Unmute and you can able to ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up the class for today. Okay, guys. Have a good day. We'll continue in the next class.